Tonight, you are going to eat something soft. A piece of bread, a bowl of rice, a handful of chips. You will barely chew it. Your jaw will do almost no work at all. But for most of human history, that would have been impossible. Your ancestors' meals fought back, and the fight itself built the body you are living in right now. You have probably heard the story before. Cavemen chasing mammoths, roasting meat over a fire, big, bloody, heroic hunts. It is a good story. It is also mostly wrong. The real answer is far stranger. For millions of years, the human diet was not built around meat at all. It was built around a much smaller, much stranger source of energy. And the way your ancestors found it reshaped their bodies, their brains, and eventually the plate in front of you tonight. Start with your teeth. Look at them in a mirror sometime. They are small, flat, not built for tearing raw flesh and not built for grinding tough plant fiber all day either. Compare them to a chimpanzee's teeth or a gorilla's. Those animals have massive molars and powerful jaw muscles because their food fights back. Yours barely does. Something changed the rules of eating for your species. And that something was not the invention of hunting, it was the invention of cooking. Anthropologist Richard Wrangham has spent decades studying this idea, and it goes by a simple name, the cooking hypothesis. Wrangham's research suggests that around 2 million years ago, an early human ancestor started applying heat to food. Not for flavor, for survival. Here is why that mattered so much. Raw food takes enormous energy to digest. A chimpanzee spends nearly half its waking day just chewing. Cooking breaks down fibers and proteins before they ever reach your mouth. It does the work that your stomach and intestines would otherwise have to do, which means cooked food delivers more usable calories, faster, for less effort. Less effort chewing. More energy left over, and where did that extra energy go? Not into bigger muscles, into a bigger brain. Your brain is expensive. At rest, it burns roughly 20% of your total daily energy, despite being about 2% of your body weight. No other primate spends anywhere close to that share on its brain. Something had to pay for the upgrade. Cooking may be the payment plan, but cooking alone does not explain everything. Because before your ancestors were reliably eating meat, and long before they had mastered fire, they were surviving on something far less glamorous. Underground food, roots, tubers, bulbs, the unglamorous, dirt-covered starches that plants store beneath the soil. Unlike fruit, which disappears in dry seasons, or leaves, which are often full of toxins, underground storage organs are available almost year-round. They do not run away. They do not fight back. They just sit there waiting to be dug up. Digging them up, though, takes tools. And tool use among early hominins goes back much further than most people assume. Biologist Catherine Milton, who studied the diets of wild primates for years, found something revealing when comparing different species. Primates with access to higher quality, easier to digest food consistently had smaller guts and often larger brains. The two traits move together like a trade-off, written into evolution's ledger. Big gut, small brain. Small gut, big brain. You cannot easily afford both. Your gut, compared to a gorilla's, is short, efficient, built for food that has already been partly broken down by cooking or preparation, not for hours of raw fermentation. That shrinking gut freed up energy elsewhere in the body. You are, in a very real sense, walking around with the metabolic savings account your ancestors built by learning to process food outside their own bodies. Now here's where the story gets stranger still. You probably assume meat was the prize. The reward at the end of a dangerous hunt, eaten by triumphant hunters around a fire. And meat mattered, certainly, but for a huge stretch of human history, meat was not reliable enough to build a diet around. Hunts fail. Animals run. Some days you get nothing. So what filled the gap? Anthropologist Alyssa Crittenden has spent years living with and studying the Hadza, one of the last remaining hunter-gatherer populations on Earth, in Tanzania. Her research on the Hadza diet found something surprising. Honey. Not meat, not roots, but honey is one of the most calorie-dense, most prized foods in their world. Some estimates suggest it can make up a meaningful share of their total caloric intake during certain seasons. Sweetness, it turns out, was not a modern indulgence. It was ancient survival currency. Your love of sugar did not appear with candy bars and soda. It appeared millions of years ago, wired into your brain because sugar meant fast, reliable, high-value calories in a world where calories were never guaranteed. That craving never left. It just found new things to attach itself to. There is another twist worth sitting with. You might picture your ancestors as constantly starving, scraping by on the edge of survival. But researcher Hermann Ponzer, who studies energy expenditure in hunter-gatherer populations, found something that surprised even him. When his team measured daily energy use among the Hadza using doubly labeled water, a precise tool for tracking metabolism, the numbers came back nearly identical to sedentary office workers in wealthy countries. Nearly the same total energy burned, despite walking for miles every day, digging, climbing, carrying. How is that possible? Ponzer's explanation points to something called constrained energy expenditure. Your body, it turns out, does not simply burn more and more calories the more active you are. Instead, it adjusts other systems downward to compensate, keeping total output within a fairly narrow range. Move more here, and your body quietly spends less somewhere else, which means the ancient diet was not fueling nonstop, unlimited exertion. It was fueling a body that had learned through evolution to be remarkably efficient with whatever energy it managed to find. Efficient, not deprived. Put these threads together and a very different picture forms. Not a caveman gnawing on a mammoth leg by firelight. Instead, a small, resourceful, endlessly adaptable creature. Digging roots from dry soil. Following the buzzing sound of a beehive. Cooking a tuber over coals to unlock calories that raw fibers would have hidden. Sharing food because a body this efficient still could not survive on scarcity and secrecy alone. Every single one of those choices left a mark on you. Your small gut, your oversized, energy-hungry brain, your obsession with sweetness, your body's quiet talent for metabolic thrift. None of it required chasing a mammoth across a frozen plain. So the next time you eat something soft, something your ancestors would barely have recognized as food, remember what it took to get here. Millions of years of digging, cooking, sharing, and searching for the next reliable source of calories in an unreliable world. You are not eating like your ancestors did, but every bite still carries their fingerprints. Tonight you will eat something soft, and somewhere inside you, a body built by roots, fire, and honey will quietly take it from there.